Week 2 of the college football season has come and gone, and it lived up to the hype. There was a lot to unpack, but today I'm going to be sharing my 10 most impressive teams from the second weekend of the season. These are the teams that I thought looked really good and also kind of shocked me by their performance. Before we get to today's video though, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications if you're new to the channel. If you love college football content, then this is definitely the place for you. Also, drop a comment down below and let me know which team impressed you the most this weekend. It helps the algorithm of the video and helps share with more college football fans. Plus, I'd like to see which teams you thought stood out. We're going to kick this video off with the Oregon Ducks, who went into Columbus as a 14-point underdog and left with the victory. Nobody gave the Ducks a shot, and man did they make us all look dumb. CJ Verdell had the game of his life as he had 200 total yards and 3 touchdowns for the game. Anthony Brown did a great job leading the offense as he had 300 total yards and 2 touchdowns. After a shaky Week 1 performance against Fresno State, the Ducks dominated the third best team in the country on the road and showed that they're worthy of being in the playoff discussion. We're going to stick in the Pac-12 and talk about Stanford. In my opinion, this was the most shocking game of the weekend for me. I was expecting the Cardinal to be awful this season, and I thought USC was going to blow them out. They were a 17-point underdog, and I really thought that wasn't enough. From the beginning, Stanford was just the better team. They led at the end of all 4 quarters, and USC never really stood a shot. Tanner McKee was fantastic as he completed 16 of 23 passes for 235 yards and 2 touchdowns, while also adding a touchdown on the ground. I talked about USC being a potential playoff sleeper in 2021, and Stanford ended any hope of that for the Trojans. After an impressive win over a ranked team last week, the Iowa Hawkeyes had yet another impressive win over a ranked team again this week, this time being the 9th-ranked Iowa State Cyclones on the road. The Iowa defense was as good as advertised as they held Breece Hall and Brock Purdy in check. They also forced 4 turnovers, which was truly the difference maker in the game. Through the first 2 weeks, Iowa has allowed only 23 points and only 2 touchdowns. I've said this already, but their defense might be the best in all of college football. Who would have thought after 2 weeks the Arkansas Razorbacks would be a ranked team? I sure never thought about it. It's one thing to pick up a win over a top 15 team in Texas, but it's another to completely dominate them the way the Razorbacks did. Arkansas won by 19, and it honestly should have been 26 points. The rushing attack from Arkansas was unstoppable as they rushed for over 330 yards with 4 rushing touchdowns. Their defense was also incredible as they held Bijan Robinson to only 3.5 yards a carry and made Hudson Card look like a quarterback at Pasadena City College. What Sam Pittman has done with this Arkansas team is incredible, and they look like they could potentially do some damage this year in the SEC. Speaking of an SEC team that might be able to do some damage is Kentucky. They had a very impressive win over Missouri, and this offense looks legit. Will Levis had another great game for the Wildcats as he had over 200 yards with 2 touchdowns. Chris Rodriguez had a career day as he rushed for over 200 yards with 3 rushing touchdowns. Kentucky now has back-to-back games with more than 500 total yards to begin their season. This offense looks like they'll cause some problems in conference play this year. I'm not quite certain how they'll fare the rest of the season, but they've certainly been quite the surprise to kick off 2021. Before I get to my next 5 teams, if you could give this video a thumbs up, I would greatly appreciate it. It helps share the video with more college football fans, and it only takes a second to do. We'll stay in the SEC and give credit to Mississippi State. They took down NC State by 14, but it really should have been 21. A lot of people had the Wolfpack as a sleeper in the ACC this season, and many expected NC State to win this game, but the Bulldogs sure made that pick look wrong. This Bulldogs defense prevented NC State from doing anything all night. They held the Wolfpack to only 32 yards on the ground and forced 3 turnovers. Last week, Mississippi State had a big comeback against Louisiana Tech and then dominated NC State this week. Just like with Kentucky, I'm not sure what we can expect from Mississippi State moving forward, but they've definitely been a surprise in the SEC to start the season. For the first time since I think I was in high school, BYU defeated Utah. The Cougars upset the number 21 ranked Utes and looked like the BYU team from last season. Jaron Hall threw for 150 yards with 3 passing touchdowns, while also adding 100 yards on the ground as well. The Cougars have built off last season nicely and picked up a win over a ranked team, showing they can hang with a top 25 team this season. I'm very much looking forward to this weekend's game against my Arizona State Sun Devils. I know this one may seem a bit off, but I was very impressed with Georgia's win over UAB. They were favored by only 22, but they doubled that and won by 49 points. With JT Daniels out, I was a bit worried with how the Bulldogs would look, but they dominated the Blazers from the beginning. Stetson Bennett threw 5 touchdowns on only 12 pass attempts, which is pretty insane to think about. The defense held UAB to only 175 yards and only 47 yards through the air. They also forced 3 turnovers as well. I knew Georgia would win this game, but I thought UAB could potentially hang around for a bit and keep it within 3 scores. But the Bulldogs just dismantled them, which was great to see. The next team on my list is Michigan, who took care of business against Washington, beating them by 21 points. It was a 2-man show on the ground as Blake Corum rushed for 170 yards with 3 touchdowns, and Hassan Hawkins rushed for 150 yards with a touchdown. The Wolverine defense held the Huskies to only 50 yards on the ground while averaging less than 2 yards a carry. I know we all like to hate on Michigan, but this team has been really impressive over the first 2 weeks of the season, especially this past week. Their defense has stepped up big time, and the offense looks like one that can hang points against anyone. I'm going to pump the brakes until they play a ranked team, but for now, this Michigan team looks pretty solid. Wrapping up this video is going to be Virginia, who dominated Illinois and beat them by 28 points. Brendan Armstrong passed for over 400 yards and had 5 passing touchdowns. Through the first 2 weeks of the season, the Cavaliers are looking like a potential sleeper in the ACC. Their offense has scored 40 points in back-to-back weeks, and their defense has looked pretty solid as well. Well, those are 10 teams who impressed me the most from week 2 of the college football season. Drop a comment down below and let me know which teams really caught your eye. Was there a team on here that I didn't include? Let me know in the comments down below. If you haven't done so yet, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications. I'll be posting videos like this all week, so if you're a college football fan, then this is definitely the place for you. If there are any other college football videos you'd like to see, drop a comment down below and that very well could turn into my next video. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.